How's it going, ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon? You're watching Zixel. Welcome to the new possible series starting today on this channel, Rhys's Retro Reviews. Today's episode is going to focus on the classic 2D side-scrolling platformer game known as Rayman. Rayman was designed by Michael Ansel and released September 1st, 1995 by Ubisoft Entertainment. That means I'm 1 year older than Rayman. Shh. Since then, the game has achieved commercial success, with various sequels to the original being released exploring new game mechanics and 3D settings. Although the two most recent installments in the Rayman series, Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends, have returned to the classic 2D platformer setting and are more popular than ever before. But anyway, today's episode is all about the classic game, the OG platformer, Rayman 1, so let's dive right in. The game starts with a cutscene of a character known as the Magician, bringing you up to date with the recent developments in the world. He explains that the world is spiralling out of control after an evil villain, Mr. Dark, has stolen the Great Protoon. I know what you're thinking, Mr. Dark? What kind of villain name is that? But you have to remember, this was a kid's game from 1995. I'm surprised he even has a name. Anyway, Rayman, the titular character, has to go throughout the land, battling bad guys, saving the good guys, and eventually getting into a confrontation with Mr. Dark, kinda like every game from that era. It seems generic at first. Bad thing happens, you go beat up the bad guys that made the bad thing happen. But herein lies the charm of the game. It may seem generic, but it is actually very unique, and it's really well made. Well, especially for the time. The combat of the game is really fun. Rayman has a telegraphic fist that isn't even attached to his body. As a matter of fact, none of his limbs are attached to his body. This makes for some quite interesting ways of eliminating foes. He can even use his hair as a helicopter to swoop in on enemies from on high and punch them in the face before they have a time to react. The animations the enemies make when they get hit just add to the overall hilarious charm of the game. It's an experience for want of a better term. The power-up system in the game is really minimalistic. There are literally only two power-ups in the game. One makes your fist hit harder, the other makes your fist hit faster. And that's it. But that is all you need. The game isn't about carrying arsenals of weapons and bombs with you to annihilate everything in your way. I mean, there were plenty of those games around at the time. This is just a very simple beat-em-up platformer that finds its own ways to make the game challenging without changing the core gameplay. Certain quote-unquote upgrades are available in the game though. I wish you to see me then I actually did the air quotes. You can make yourself run faster, and helicopter hair upgrade is obtained fairly early on in the game. There are some other minor upgrades I won't spoil for you though, just rest assured the game is only improved by their addition. The game's worlds are also some of the most charming and obscure I've seen in games to date. I mean, initially the setting of a forest may seem pretty normal, but when it's followed up by a world made entirely of instruments, or maybe one made of art supplies, then things start to get pretty interesting. Even the characters and enemies represent the levels around them. In the first level in the forest, you're being chased by hunters, flowers, bugs, and then the same happens throughout with the instrument level and the art supply levels up to the mountain levels. You're chased by enemies that represent the area you are in. And that's really nice. I like it when a game varies its enemies based on location. This is a trend that has followed the Rayman games throughout, from Rayman 1 through to Rayman Legends, the newest game. The last level's design in the first game has the most amazing contrast compared to the boss that dwells within. You know, Mr. Dark, Darkness, Doom and Gloom. One criticism I do have with the game, however, is its overall challenge. As in, it's far too challenging. Maybe I was just terrible at games when I was a kid.
You're still terrible at games.
Oh, thanks Oliver. But it was only within the last 5 to 10 years that I was able to actually complete the damn thing. The hitbox detection can be brutal at times. You can suffer from an aneurysm just from the air particles surrounding an enemy. But I guess this just adds to the replayability. What a word, replayability. Replayability. See, I just repeated the word, I've replayed it. Da 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 da. I spent several years stuck in a level that seemed impossible, just to come back to it year upon year until I beat it. And when I beat it, boy did I beat it. She did not see that coming. Oh, I hated that boss, I hated her so much. There are games I would never show that much interest in completing and would just leave on the shelf gathering dust. I'm talking to you, Tomb Raider 5. All in all, I would recommend this game to anyone. It's fun, it's vibrant, it's a unique challenge that I have yet to see repeated. Sure, the premise may be generic, but the execution is close to flawless, and that's actually quite a contrast to today. I mean, today you'll have a look at games and they seem amazing, but are actually quite simple when you get down to it, and there's not much going on within them. They look good, but don't feel as good. Rayman didn't look as good, looked a bit, alright, but it was quite cartoony. But inside, it was amazing. The mechanics, the gameplay, all of it just fit together so well. And I miss that about games. I miss a simple game that you could spend hours and hours and hours playing. And I hope to see that return one day. I hope to see games like Rayman make a return. Thanks for watching the pilot episode of Rhys's Retro Reviews. This is one of several new concepts that may find its way onto this channel soon, but we'll only be continuing with the ones you like. Yes, you sitting right there. So let us know what you think. As always, thanks for sticking around, guys, and we'll see you next time.